Aloha, everybody. It's my pleasure to announce the third head baseball coach of the University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, Rich Hill. We had a significant number of applicants for the position and discussed the position with several sitting head coaches and other highly qualified candidates. Rich stood out as the best candidate to lead the Hawaii baseball and develop our student athletes. We met with the student athletes during the search to listen to the qualities they thought that were important to lead our baseball program, and they offered the following: significant baseball head coaching experience, high energy, someone who cares about Hawaii and our youth, with the ability to connect with the people of Hawaii, student athletes, and others in our community. An overachiever. Uh, that was something that they really stressed. They wanted an overachiever. I want to thank the student athletes for their input and search advisors for the work in identifying Rich Hill as someone with the experience, values, and energy to lead our baseball program. On behalf of the University of Hawaii, I welcome Coach Hill as the leader of our treasured baseball program. Aloha, Rich.
Aloha, everybody. I can't wait to meet everybody in person. And hey, I am beyond humbled and honored to serve the University of Hawaii as the next head baseball coach. I think that word in there, serve, is huge, and being in higher education, that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve our student athletes and serve the community and a passionate baseball community in Hawaii. I have so much respect for the proud tradition, that Coach Les Murakami, uh, started. Coach Trapasso built on. Man, I just feel blessed to be part of this program. Um, the great players, past and present, I'm very familiar with them. I started my love affair, my dream about coaching at the University of Hawaii, as a college age student, just like our guys. I just got off a Zoom with them and told them the same thing. And that was 1980, so that's Ricky Bass, out in center field, and Howard Deshevsky. I don't know if Howard's on this call or if Sammy Spangler's on this call. And watching guys like Kimo and Joey Meyer and playing summer ball with Mario Monaco and Terry Derby and those guys. So it goes way back. And then, being at the University of San Francisco, uh, competing against the Rainbow Warriors, and then at USD, competing against the Rainbow Warriors as well. I played in Old Rainbow Stadium, and with all the fans, and I've been able to coach at Les Murakami Stadium. Just think it's such a special place, and I mean, the words humbled, honored, blessed, just to be able to do this. And I really want to thank David Matlin, and also David Lastner, for providing my family and I this opportunity. The conversations I had with David Matlin were awesome. I think it's rare at this level to have leadership in place like this, and especially baseball. He grew up in a baseball family, and his dad was a longtime Detroit Tigers executive. But I was just impressed with David's Hawaiian mana, really, and his down to earth attitude, and his vision, not only for Rainbow Warrior baseball, but Rainbow Warrior athletics. And that's very important, to be able to lock arms, um, and be unified. And that's what we just talked about with our team on the Zoom, unity. So David, thank you so much. Thank you to David Lashner. Um, they've been phenomenal throughout this process. Uh, we look forward, specifically my wife and I look forward to embedding ourselves in the community. Our players, coaching staff, and myself look forward to embedding ourselves in the community, not just of Oahu, but the neighbor islands. I've spent a lot of time on Kauai, the North Shore specifically, and specifically the northwest side, um, up Maui. And not coincidentally, those are some of the best surfing spots in the world, right? But we look forward to doing that. Community is at the top of the list for us. Look forward to bringing our brand of baseball, which is tough, which is fundamentally strong, and winning baseball to the great state of Hawaii. I mean, my vision is to have is to have the less 4,000 people strong, standing room only, winning a Big West championship there, dog pile, so the fans and the community can see that at Les Murakami Stadium. I'm a daydreamer. I told Dave this. It's I want to host a regional, and we're for these next 2 weeks, guys. College baseball is relevant. It's important. The College World Series is going on, and people can start getting excited, about the NCAA tournament. But how awesome would that be to host an NCAA regional at Les Murakami Stadium with all those people screaming, "Let's go Bows! Let's go Bows!" And I want to be on the right end of those chants this time. So that's what I have to say. I'd love to open it up to for questions. And like I said, I'd love to get to meet you guys individually when the time is right.
All right, at this time, we'll open up to questions. As a reminder, please use the raise your hand feature, identify yourself, and address who you want to, who the question is for. We will start it off with Alan Hoshida.
Hey, Rich, Alan Hoshida with KHON. I'll make sure and pass along that shout out for Sam and Dash later today.
That's right.
Yeah, but Coach, you had such success at San Diego and throughout your career. What was it about Hawaii that made it such a good fit for you, both personally and baseball? I know you touched on it a little bit, but what was it about Hawaii?
Well, I think it's not just one thing. You can start with our young people. And again, that's why we have jobs, in college athletics and higher education. So it started with an opportunity to expand our footprint. I think we have a special culture that we've built at Cal Lutheran, USF, and USD, heavily rooted in development and connection with our players. And we have an opportunity, I do, and our staff does, to impact, and there's that word, impact 35 more players for the next 10 years and beyond. And that's not just another group of players. That is a community, in the great state of Hawaii. That's a culture, and that's a state. All right. So it starts with that. It starts with impact. And Jackie Robinson had a great quote. I'm probably going to screw it up, but a life is not important except for the impact that it has on others, and that's in our clubhouse. And I really believe that. And the opportunity to do that at another place, specifically in the state of Hawaii, was extremely appealing. The other thing is I've seen this, I've seen it at its best. I've seen Hawaii baseball with a rabid fan base, with a passionate fan base, great players, and to the opportunity to have the state of Hawaii across my chest was just, it's just very, very appealing. Like I said, it's humbling. So that was the other one. The opportunity to play in the Big West Conference, which is a great baseball conference, compete for a championship. And, I believe that Rainbow Warrior Baseball, that's the pro baseball team, and shoot, the opportunity to lead, this program was, it's awesome. I've had opportunities to go to a Pac-12 school before, had some other opportunities, but always, this was the one where I wanted to be.
And if I could follow up with just that impact of what you're saying,
yeah,
Hawaii baseball as a state, when from youth on up, is such a baseball state. What's your plan to connect UH baseball back to the community that it represents?
Well, I think that's twofold, Alan. Great question, man. When you start talking about Hawaii baseball, and again, I'm from that era where it was Mario Monaco, it was Terry Derby, it was Joey Meyer, it was, Colin Tanabe, Kimo Perkins, and Sam Spangler, Deshevsky, Tots, so the local baseball community and the local players and the local coaches, right, are some of the best in the country. Very, very focused on development. And I know everybody said, hey, we want to keep our players. We got to keep the local boys here. And, there's so much talent here. Yeah, I believe that. But I want to eliminate the word keep with want. I want these players to want to be Rainbow Warriors and their families. When we have an opportunity, to stand in front of them, to share our vision on development, on impact in the community, and to have their son go from a teenager into manhood, which is what it's really about anyway, right? In higher education, they're going to want to be here. They're going to see the stadium full, right? And that really kind of leads into, Alan, the next part of this, where, outreach and community service. We're going to win in the community. Here at USD, we've led our school in community service hours, and we've led the WCC in community service hours as well. In any sport, I believe in that. We go build homes in Mexico. We work with the Miracle League here, the Autism Tree Foundation. So I'm into it, man, because of, not only what it does for other people, go back to the Jackie Robinson quote, right? But when you serve and when you volunteer, what it does for you, right? And your spirit, significant impact. Now, when you have the kids, not only on Oahu, and I'm talking, everywhere, West Side, Kahuku, Hawaii Kai, every part of it. And then you go to the neighbor islands and you're doing clinics, with our players for free, right? And you're spreading our message, and we do the nickel speech, and we talk about, trying hard and being a good kid and going to school and doing all these things. And our Rainbow Warrior guys are signing autographs and they're playing catch. Now those kids that are 8 years old, at some point they're going to be 16 years old, and they're going to be going to all the games, and they're going to be seeing. And that's how you really build a program in a community like the University of Hawaii, or LSU, or the University of Texas. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But what we can control is just, our effort and our attitude in those areas. So I think those two things, it's a long answer, but you can see I'm passionate about the community. I'm passionate about service, and I'm passionate about building something.
All right, Christian, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Welcome. Christian Shmubuku with KHON2.
Hey,
This is a two-parter.
Yeah.
First of all, how hard was it to leave behind a winning program at San Diego that you built? And how invigorated are you by this challenge?
Well, you can probably tell I'm pretty invigorated, All right. So, I'll get to that in a second. How hard is it to leave this program? And that was the deciding tipping point, for me. At USD, it's completely on the rails. We have a really good team coming back, some freshman All-Americans. We finished, 19-8, 33-12. All those guys are coming back. If we can survive the draft, it's an NCAA tournament team, probably a super regional team. And that stuck with me. And, we built Fowler Park. I don't know if you bring it up on your Google search, but it is spectacular. And we built that in 2013 with the idea of hosting a regional and a super regional. And, we hosted at San Diego State, in 2007. And so part of that kind of tugged at me. So it was very difficult. And I'll tell you what, that's a good question. I was on the Zoom with my former team this morning, and it was going to be a 5-minute thank you, I love you guys, reach out. But it was way more emotional than I thought. It was like it when I saw their faces, it's just kind of, and I'm kind of getting emotional about it now, like, whoa, man, it kind of hit me. So it is tough. At the same time, it's time. And I really felt that when I was on campus. I felt that here yesterday, driving, into campus today, like, man, I feel great. I feel great about this next challenge. I'm completely invigorated. people ask me, how do you feel about it? I told David, I said, I'll tell you how I feel about it. I feel like a little kid, again. And like starting that program at Cal Lutheran when I got hired when I was 24 years old. I'm 33 and a half right now. So it's not that far long ago, but anyway, I hope that answers your question, man.
All right, Josh, go ahead.
Coach, congratulations. Josh Pacheco, ESPN Honolulu.
Thanks, Josh.
Couple of questions. First off, some of the immediate reaction across the country, Kendall Rogers from D1Baseball.com, he called you a perfect fit for the program.
Mm-hmm.
To you, when you think of finding the student athlete that you believe is the perfect fit to wear that Hawaii baseball uniform, what does that athlete look like?
Man, that's a great question. I think it's going to start with character. And through this process and through the recruiting process, that has to be number one. Character is defined in a lot of different ways, doing things right. But I think that character, especially doing things right off the field, there is an attitude that we demand of selflessness, of sacrifice, and self-discipline. So if they don't have that right away, it's not going to work. It's just too demanding of a culture, and we define culture simply by the way we do things around here. And I know that's A to Z. So I think you're going to start with the character, and then you're going to go to talent. And, I think part of development of young people, to be able to put the gloves on and really succeed in life, the desire and how to win, how to learn how to win. And to do that, winning is important. The desire, what it takes to win, is huge. I want winners. I want pile jumpers, just like Buck Showalter was quoted. I want pile jumpers on my team. So that attitude, that spirit, really can be, kind of in that sphere of character, but talent. Man, we're looking for talented players, and they all have to fit in, somewhere. I think this game starts with pitching, not necessarily. We get caught up in the velocity of, 95 to 98 and this and that and good stuff. I kind of like pitchers that could win a wiffle ball game. I'm a former hitter. I hated facing guys like that. So we're going to develop a strong pitching staff. We're going to develop a strong middle, catcher, shortstop, second base, center field, speed, power, the ability to score quick. And we're going to eliminate the free 90 on defense, and we're going to get free 90s on offense. That's really a model, a player development model, a winning model now in 2021 that works. All the things that go into that, it's as in a nutshell. We're going to recruit players that are really going to fit that mode, and then along that character, like toughness. We're going to have guys that are just extremely tough. And I've seen it, in the state of Hawaii. I love players. Keone Ruth, I don't know if you guys remember him from Kamehameha. I just got a text from Keone. Tough kid, one of the best players we ever had at USD. Signed with the Angels, made it to, I think, AAA, played in the Big A. But our players are going to be tough. They are going to have outstanding character, and they're going to be extremely talented.
And to follow up on that, you met with the team via Zoom, obviously with the transitioning coaching staff, the transfer portal, players who graduated, so on and so forth. Have you gotten to the point yet where you've been able to understand the roster in front of you and what you'll need to do in recruiting to fit those needs and those players that fit what you want to see?
Yeah, we've dissected the roster, not to the point where we feel good about, where we need to be in terms of recruiting, the portal, and those kinds of things. We have some outstanding contacts, in the coaching community that are going to help us gauge where we're at, and specifically the scouting community. I mean, there's some, amazing scouts that I consider good friends that are really dialed in with this team specifically. So that's going to be an evaluative process as we go. I don't feel like we're where we need to be to make real crucial decisions, but that's, within days of happening. The first order of business, I click leave meeting. I'm on the phone with the current players, and the current recruits, and starting to establish that relationship, starting to connect, and to really get a feel for what we need to do. The transfer portal, yes. Transfer, yes. I want to win now in year one.
Stephen, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. I was wondering, what role are you going to have besides being the overall head coach? Are you going to be involved in marketing? Are you going to handle any of the positions, or because it looked like you sort of sublet it with your current staff?
Yeah, I mean, as the head coach, I've been doing this for a while. I'm one of those guys that, I am a marketer. Stephen, like I said, I'm a promoter. I'm a marketer. I'm a community service guy. I believe in speaking anywhere, anytime. I love camps because we get to be around, kids and the joy of baseball, and sticking, big league chew in there, and seeds, and trading cards, and doing that kind of stuff. So my most important role is to be a leader for these guys. And that really, it goes into how they're going to do academically, how they're going to do off the field, some of the choices that they're going to make, and the life lessons that they're going to learn. I mean, we have a thing here at USD. I have an opportunity every day, Steve, to stand in 35 young adult males. I mean, that's amazing. Billy Graham. I mean, that guy said, hey, a coach, can impact more people in one season than most people can in a lifetime. So I take that as a huge responsibility, and try to give different messages throughout their time, in my program. And then the first pitch is thrown. And you know what, Steve? That's the easiest part of my job, being a college baseball coach. Specifically, I'm an offense guy. I'll run the offense, probably, coach third base, work with the hitters. I'm an infield guy. That's a passion of mine, and the base running. So, we'll have a coach that's responsible for the outfielders, for the catchers, a pitching coach, but the infield, the base running, the overall program, and the offensive approach will be me. I like to have a swing coach. I've got, I'm sure you'll get to that in a minute. The staff that we're going to hire is outstanding. I've, got people in mind, specifically one or two guys, especially one with strong local ties, that will really have an impact in, making, the local players want to be Rainbow Warriors.
One last thing. I understand you have a really close friendship with Les Murakami. Has he served as a mentor or a consultant to you, or have you done that to him back in the day, or what was your relationship with him?
Les and I haven't talked, much over the last, several years. But, I'm the guy that can remember him like this in the third base coach's box. I don't know how many guys on the Zoom, would remember that. Do you remember that, Steve?
Yeah, and also remember him going like that a lot.
Yeah. He was, man, he had some great teams, and what he built. I mean, it's tough to really put into words, what he's meant, not only to, the University of Hawaii baseball, but the community in the state of Hawaii, and the coaching community overall. I look forward to speaking with Coach Les immediately, and telling him how grateful I am to have this position, and that I will do everything in my power to uphold the tradition that he started of Rainbow Warrior baseball. And again, I'm humbled, and I understand that he's the man, and I look forward to using him, as a sounding board and advice.
All right, just a reminder, please identify yourself before you ask your question. We got Scott up next.
Hey, how's it, Coach? Scott Robb, Spectrum Sports, ESPN Honolulu.
How's that, Scott?
First off, great haircut. I
You
really
too, buddy.
Yeah,
You too, man.
I got a barber for you when you come to Honolulu.
Nice. I love it.
Hey, I've been around the program my whole life, and
Nice.
and the names you mentioned from the past are some of the greats. I mean,
Yeah.
Mario and Joey Meyer, all those guys. They didn't feel so welcomed in recent years to the program. How do you plan on reaching out to those past alumni who have a lot of ties within the baseball community here in the islands?
That's one of the first orders of business. Like I said, as soon as we get off here, I'm going to connect with my players and connect with some of the amazing alumni. And being around the program, the passion, the pride, that all of the alums have in Rainbow Warrior baseball. So guys like Kenny Harrison, who I'm going to call immediately, and touch base with, all of these guys just by phone. Just share with them, how excited I am, how honored I am to follow in the footsteps of greatness. But I really want to connect with them in person. I want to hear how we can take this to the next level from an alumni standpoint, how we can bring everybody back. I'm the guy that's going to be waving the flag at tailgates. And I think that's, this is a special place, and it's a special program, and the alumni made it that way. Our current players need to know that. And I want to express that, to all of the alums. So I feel that that's, at the top of the list, and I'm going to work hard, to reach out, to all of our alumni and get them back as much as I can.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And number two is recruiting started a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure you've been out on the road, or at least recruiting for USD. How do you change that now to the University of Hawaii? How does that impact your recruiting and your relationships that you're building right now?
Yeah, well, first of all, recruiting never stops, and it always started. That's the tough part of this thing. You build relationships, you sign them, these guys at USD, and then, poof, the head coach goes, and there's some anxiety with these young people. Same thing, that the future Rainbow Warrior players felt. There's 9 guys in that 21 class, and there's some commits beyond that we need to talk to you right away. So again, that's kind of the first order of business, is to reach out to the current players and to reach out to the recruits, and get that on the rails, kind of see where we are. And like I said before, the recruiting, we're going to recruit character, we're going to recruit talent and toughness, and we're on it right away. I mean, I'm going to a game today. Well, maybe not tonight, but Saturday night, the championship's here. I can't wait to hire our staff, and as soon as that becomes okayed and we get through the protocol and everything, hit the ground running. We'll be in Arizona, Pacific Northwest, heavy into Vegas, of course, Orange County, Los Angeles, into Texas, and mainly the Western United States, then out into Georgia, the Junior Olympics, out into Team USA in North Carolina. It's a lot of younger players, and recruiting now has really gotten out there, good and bad. But I mean, 2024s, and now the focus is 2023s, so rising juniors, and we got to get to work. Again, the transfer portal, I'm all about it. The right fit, I think it's great. I think academics at the University of Hawaii has been undervalued in the recruiting process. I think it's a great academic institution. When you start talking higher education degrees and master's degrees, you have some of the best faculty in the world. And, what guy wouldn't, okay, I finished 3 years of all these COVID guys in the portal now. Hey, come to Hawaii. We're going to finish that last year of eligibility and, win a championship, be part of our culture. So there's a lot to sell in the transfer market, not only in the portal, but, others as well.
Okay, we'll take 2 more questions. Dave, you're up first.
I could go all day, man. It's all right.
Hey, Coach Hill, aloha, welcome. I'm one of those guys that can remember Coach Murakami standing in the third base box.
Nice.
And I am sorry, I cannot recommend a hairdresser for you because I have the COVID haircut right now. But, all those guys you mentioned in the beginning, that's pretty impressive, and that's going to play really well with a lot of the fan base, and it'll educate some of them too, and that's great. That's a big part of here, I think, in general. But I think you might agree that the landscape of college baseball has changed a lot, and you've been a head coach for a long time, so I'm sure you understand it. And could you maybe address that a little bit, like some of the main things about that have changed since the glory days here, and how some specific ways you address those?
Yeah, it's a great question. It broke up a little bit in there, but I think I get the gist of the question. I think first off, yes, recruiting has changed. Over the last 30 years, it used to be in the Coach Les era. It was very local, and there wasn't the travel ball, the showcase, kids going everywhere. So you could really focus in your community. The San Diego guys all went to San Diego State. You had the NorCal guys going to Cal. And it was kind of like that. And coaches that really worked at it, that's Coach Les and Carl Furutani and Coop and all those guys. They really did well. And like you said, Dave, that was the glory years, when a ton of local talent stayed here. And that's what I really want to get back to, is those families from, when they're keiki, they want to come up and play for the Rainbow Warrior. So that's changed a little bit. Here on the mainland, everything is showcase baseball. With the advent of the internet and YouTube and videos and everything, there aren't really a lot of secrets anymore, and it's just made it more challenging. But hey, that's life, right? Everything gets more challenging. You really have to kind of get that edge to stay ahead of everything. And so that's where I see it. And the other thing is, I think, people ask me all the time, well, kids have really changed and it's different now. I don't think the kids have changed a whole lot. They might become a little bit more myopic, but I think that's our fault, and I think really true leadership, Dave, is when, the best leaders go like this. They point at themselves and say, hey, what am I doing as a dad? What are we doing as parents? What are we doing as adults, to teach our young people, the value of saying no, the value of hard work, the value of not pointing fingers, not being a victim, and being accountable. And I think we've fallen short, in our generation, with that. And I just don't want to put it on the kids. I was just on the Zoom with 35 USD kids that are just awesome. And then I was on another Zoom with another 35 kids that are awesome. These young people that are attending these universities, it's not them, it's our responsibility to teach them. So I hope that answered your question. It was kind of
I agree with you, because I think it's just a thing that's like human nature, where the more mature generations like to look at the younger generation a certain way, but if you're involved with them in a personal basis with a pretty large sample size, like college athletes, I have the same experience where I feel like no, there's nothing wrong with these people as a group. I mean, and yeah, everything's like a shared responsibility. So I really like that aspect that you're talking about there.
Hey, look at Pal Eldridge. I got a story. Hey, how's it? All right, Pal. I got a story about Pal. I'm at, you remember this one, right? When Saratoga High School. Pal was the coach at Punahou. I went to Saratoga up in Northern California, and Pal brought his Punahou team over. I was a sophomore in high school, and he played at our field, and the Punahou team gave us little pennants, lined up, and I put that pennant up on my wall. That stayed up on my room, when I was going all the way through high school. And I will never forget Joey Meyer as a freshman. And he looked like Nelson Cruz at that time, even as a freshman, man. And Pal and I have maintained a great relationship all these years. And Pal, it's so great to see you again, man.
Yeah. Hey, Rich, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say congratulations.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Good to see you over here. Bring what size boards you bringing?
Oh, man, my guy. Hey, yeah, Bushman surfboards over there, so I got I just thought about that too. I don't know how to ship those things, but yeah, we'll go out North Shore.
How's the tattoo doing?
Right there. That's right.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, pal. Yeah, that tattoo, that what that means, it's from Queen Kapiolani. And it's the first line, it is strive to reach the summit.
I know, because I gave it to you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, how about that? Remember we called that day.
That's right.
And the bottom line is, I'm with you. And I did an interview today on the YouTube, which will be posted in a bit, about your message. And really, that's it, striving to reach the summit, and really what that takes. And not just the championship, as you know, pal, it's about the impact, that we have on this younger generation and all the lessons learned through the game of baseball. And then I'm with you. And I think as a coach and as a teacher, your students, your players, they have to know that, man. They got to know that you're with them and that you're going to lock arms and go through this thing with them to develop them, because they all have that dream, of playing professional baseball. And who's the next Chris Bryant going to be? So, yeah, thank you for giving me the correct spelling.
All right, but
I didn't pronounce it. I might have screwed it up. So that's why I just didn't show it.
well, we'll see you down the road.
Appreciate it, pal. Thank you.
You.
Aloha.
All right, Alan, go ahead. You're next.
Coach, you talked a lot about the staff, and I'm sure probably can't get into names specifically, but when do you feel like your staff will be finalized and that will all come out?
I think that, like I said, we have one guy in mind with strong local ties. Like I can't say too much more than that. We're going through the process right now, and I think, soon. I don't know if that's, a week, 10 days, or 2 weeks.
I can chime in a little bit for that.
Official. Yeah, Dave.
Probably the post we'll post the positions today. It's a 5-day post, so by the end of next Friday we can start reviewing resumes. So it'd be probably the following week. Obviously, we want to go fast, as fast as possible, but get the right people on board.
Yeah, that and also the that other position, the other two positions, which is one of them is going to be a real strong pitching guy. I've got 3 candidates right now that, when and if we hire him, your eyebrows are going to go, whoa, man, that's big time. Some strong recruiting ties, but that blend of just, and whoever's in this position, including myself, has to have that recruiting DNA, just be an animal. That's what it's going to take in 2022 and beyond. At the same time, development, I told our guys the story today about Long Beach State, Alan. In 2019, what was their record? Like 12-48 or something? I mean, it was horrible. Coach gets fired, the whole thing. And then the next year, Eric Valenzuela, who was my assistant, he goes in there and they're nationally ranked. And I told the story, Eric, how'd you do it? Who'd you get? And he goes, Coach, these are the same guys. You know, we got them believing, and it's amazing with these guys. They have players, you know. So anyway, I think the developmental aspect and getting these guys to believe is at the forefront, along with recruiting. And I've been able to build a staff history of doing that over the years. I'm very proud of that. Jay Johnson, you'll see Jay in the College World Series at the head of University of Arizona. Eric Valenzuela, I just mentioned at Long Beach State. Lindsey Meggs, you know, up at the University of Washington. Brian Green, who was a Rainbow Warrior, you know, a few years ago as a head man at Washington State. So I have full confidence that we're going to be able to get the right people in for our young people.
All right, Stephen, you got the last question.
Actually, two. Are you a social media guy, and are your practices going to be open to the media?
Well, I don't know what the definition of a social media guy is. But yes, I do have, you know, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not super active. Anything that I do, you know, is inspirational. I think that, you know, social media can be such a valuable tool, you know, such a valuable platform. I also think it can be extremely negative. You know, when our kids get into comparison, it just becomes kind of bad. But as far as, you know, with my affinity for social media, yeah, I get it. I'm from a military town, man. I got guys my age that are so dialed in with technology, you know, with these Navy SEALs and the Marines that, you know, it's kind of like, whoa, man, that's like a 22-year-old would know all that stuff. So there's really no excuse. I love it. It's the way that it is now and the way of the future. And yes, I will have personal accounts and be active.
And practices, will they be open to the media?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Welcome to Hawaii then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the more the better. I mean, our practices are intense, and the more that the message gets out, right? We're still in this promotion stage. And if we're going to build a program and people are going to see on the news and they're going to see through YouTube and they're going to see social media, you know, what we're doing with our bunt defenses and our rundowns and our cuts and relays and how we practice and do things like our hair's on fire. All that's awesome. Yes.
Did you say hair?
Yep. Their hair's on fire, not mine.
Theirs, okay. Just double check.
All right, everybody. Thanks again. That should do it. Congratulations again, Coach. Welcome to Hawaii.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so
Congrats.
much.
Good luck.
Aloha.
Aloha. Appreciate you, everybody.